We will connect wirelessly our neocortex to the cloud.
This is with nanobots that
Exactly.
enter your neocortex.
Right.
This is your prediction. For when? When is that? Just right now.
Well, June 2033.
Yeah. June 12th, 8:35 in the morning.
Hey everybody, welcome to Studio 64. My name's David. I've been searching the interzones for some more science, space and tech news to share with you. And I came across this over at Popular Mechanics. This should be very interesting. Yes, a scientist says humans are rapidly approaching singularity and plausible immortality. Okay. Yes, this is futurist Raymond Kurzweil sees nanorobots as the key to extending human lifespans, potentially leading to plausible immortality and a future of singularity. Yes, very famous man, Raymond Kurzweil. I've followed quite a bit of his work over the years, and he's absolutely incredible in the way he's a futurist, so he's able to sort of look into, look at where we're headed technologically and all that sort of thing, and socially and everything else. And the guy's pretty spot on. I quite like his stuff. Futurist Raymond Kurzweil has a new book coming out that spells out why he believes that nanorobots are the key to helping humans live significantly longer. Now, Kurzweil believes that the pursuit of human longevity centers on ensuring that our cells don't pile up damage as they reproduce. Now, the MIT-educated futurist, known for pioneering computer-based learning technologies, believes that pairing artificial intelligence with biotechnology can lead to aging solutions that transcend what we can even comprehend. Now, for over 5 decades, futurist Raymond Kurzweil has shown a propensity for understanding how computers can change our world. He is ready to anoint nanorobots as the key to allowing humans to transcend life's 120-year threshold. Now, as usual, I'll leave the link to the main article below the video so you can pop in, check out those embedded links, go for a bit of a deeper dive if you want. Makes a very interesting read, believe me. Now, as he wrote, both in the upcoming The Singularity is Near, a book set for release on the 25th of June, and an essay published in Wired, the merging of biotechnology with artificial intelligence will lead to nanotechnology helping overcome the limitations of our biological organs altogether. Yep, well, look what's happened with Elon Musk's Neuralink, just for a start. And the video I did yesterday on not exactly nanobots, but like exoskeletons. So check that out on the channel where we've got exoskeletons now linked with artificial intelligence to the point with people who have mobility issues, they're getting over an injury or they may be permanent. Now literally creating an exoskeleton that can reduce the amount of physical effort needed to move around. It's absolutely fantastic. I'll leave the link actually to that video below this one so you can go and check it out. As our bodies accumulate errors when cells reproduce over and over, it invites damage. That damage can get repaired quickly by young bodies, but less so when age piles up. Yeah, so it's like a VHS tape being copied over and over and over and over again. You eventually, the first couple of copies are fine, but then after a while you notice picture degradation. Same principle. Now, the only solution longevity researchers argue is to cure aging itself, Kurzweil wrote. Now, in short, we need the ability to repair damage from aging at the level of individual cells and local tissues. There are a number of possibilities being explored for how to achieve this, but I believe the most promising ultimate solution is nanorobots. Very interesting. Now, to put this in context, however, this is one man's vision of the future. There is currently no technology even approaching what Kurzweil is predicting, nor is there any guarantee his vision will come to pass. But there is also no guarantee that it won't eventually anyway. And based on his track record, if you Google Ray Kurzweil, you'll find the guy's actually, he's a bit of a let's just say a more accurate Nostradamus. Definitely great. He's very, very switched on. Yes, very, very interesting indeed. Now, Kurzweil said he agrees with biomedical gerontologist Aubrey de Grey's belief that the first person to live over 1,000 years has likely already been born. If the nanotechnology of 2050 solves enough issues of aging for 100-year-olds to start living to 150, then we'll have until 2100 to solve whatever new problems may crop up at that age, Kurzweil said, with AI playing a key role in research. By then progressing during that time, progress during that time will be exponential. Absolutely fascinating. Now, we've got a little video here for you on nanorobots, or nanobots, if you like. Well, check it out. It should be very interesting indeed. And we'll carry on the conversation when we come out the other side.
We will connect wirelessly our neocortex to the cloud.
This is with nanobots that
Exactly.
that enter your neocortex.
Right.
This is your prediction. For when? When is that? Just right now.
Well, June 2033.
Yeah. June 12th, 8:35 in the morning.
So we have 300 million modules in our neocortex, each of which can recognize a pattern. They're organized in this hierarchy. We create that hierarchy with our own thinking, but it's 300 million. So is that a big number or a little? Well, it was big enough for us to invent language and physics, but it's also limited when you realize how long it takes to read a book or learn a language. We will be able to expand that, and that expansion will not be a one-shot deal. It'll be connected to the cloud. The cloud is pure information technology. One of my themes is that information technology grows exponentially. It roughly doubles in power every year. That's what the cloud is doing. The cloud is twice as powerful every year. And when we can connect and expand our neocortex in the cloud, it will expand without limit. And so we'll be funnier, and we'll be sexier, and it'll be harder for you to win this prize again.
So just to clarify what I think you just said, that in 20 years, plus or minus, so the mid-2030s, we will have nanobots that we can feed into our brain that directly connect to the cloud rather than through anything we carry in our pocket. And in that way, wirelessly, we can basically download entire books, entire languages, and we will then know these things just by the act of downloading them.
Well, that's one implication.
Into our brains.
But we'll have more neocortex. So we won't be limited to a mere 300 million pattern modules. We'll have billions or 10 billion.
But biologically, or just simply because we have these nanobots?
We'll have this extension that's non-biological.
Non-biological, right.
So I mean, this would be pretty useless if it didn't have an extension. I mean, you know, when you access all of Google.
Yes, it would just be a gaming device otherwise, right.
You know, you can access all of knowledge and.
No, I got that. So isn't this like the scene in The Matrix where they sit in the chair and they upload? One of my favorite lines of the film is Keanu Reeves. You know, they teach him martial arts, and he says, "I know kung fu." And you mean I'm gonna know, you know, or jujitsu, whatever. So in 20 seconds, he's now an expert. Are you telling me that's what's going to happen?
The non-biological portion of our thinking will be able to download skills, right?
Wow.
And it does that now. I mean, you load some software in your computer. It didn't. For example, speech recognition, which I worked on, we had to spend months teaching a computer how to understand human speech. But now you want to do that on your notebook computer, you just download the software. It can download skills that another computer learned. So that's a feature of non-biological intelligence.
Well, that was absolutely fascinating, absolutely amazing. And as I say, I keep thinking back when I've done my reading and research and things like that, because I'm not a scientist myself. I just love all this kind of stuff, whatever science it happens to be, technology, biology, I don't care. and all the offshoots and different disciplines. It just completely like engineering, all aspects of engineering. I'm interested in be marine engineering, electrical engineering, computer engineering, aerospace engineering. I just love it, and I love sharing these stories. And when you look back with the way medical developments are, you look back in the day when the average life expectancy was 20, and then it was 40, probably 20 because of you being eaten by a wild animal, and then 40 was considered old age, and now of course middle age used to be 35 to 40, and now all of a sudden middle age is now 50 to 60, So you know what I mean? Roughly that sort of age. It's really interesting. Like I speak to doctors now, and they think that a 45-year-old person is young, and the way medical and everything is running, the medical technology and everything's running now, and our knowledge, 45 still is young, And yet it wasn't that many generations ago that 45 was considered, getting on a bit there, Quite fascinating, isn't it? Kurzweil admits that these projections may sound absurd right now, but he believes that there are solid reasons to bear this out through medical nanorobots. And I agree with him. They don't seem absurd to me at all. I mean, if you can, look at Elon Musk's Neuralink. I know that's not a nanobot, but I mean, look at what they're doing with that, and they can help people who are paralyzed to help partially overcome that paralysis. And then you look at the exoskeleton stuff. My God, all you have to do is project a few years into the future, and we're not talking hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years. We're talking just a few decades. And by that stage, it will become commonplace. It won't just be a novelty. It will be commonplace. It's fascinating. I mean, you have a look at an example of technology becoming commonplace. We walk around with a bloody supercomputer in our pocket. I mean, 25 years ago, who would have believed that? And 25 years sounds like a long time. But that's not centuries. That's well within a human's lifespan. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. He believes that diamondoid nanorobots with onboard sensors, manipulators, computers, communicators, and even power supplies could work in the human bloodstream at the size of a cell. Each body may require several 100 billion nanorobots to repair and augment degrading organs. And if you don't think that's possible to have onboard sensors, manipulators, computers, communicators, and even power supplies, right, in a microscopic sized piece of electronic equipment, then you can't foresee that, then I'm saying, come on. Computers used to be gigantic things in a room, that took up entire rooms, and they were just massive. And now, my digital wristwatch has got more power than half of those darn things. This actually has more functions on it, and the thing cost me, $10 or $20? Cheap piece of rubbish. And yet it's got more functions on it than the computer from the 1940s that took up an entire room. So don't tell me that this is not possible, And you've got to remember that digital watches with the same or more functions than one of those giant computers came out in the 70s. I mean, that's only 30 years. That's not a hell of a long time when you think about it. Fascinating. Now, by monitoring the supply of these vital substances, adjusting their levels as needed, and maintain organ structures, nanobots can keep a person's body in good health indefinitely, he wrote. Ultimately, nanobots will be able to replace biological organs altogether if needed or desired. Not only does he envision the nanobots preserving normal functions and limiting the impact of aging, but he thinks they could create a more optimal human body. Oh God, I could do with that. I think I need a few billion nanobots around my waistline. But anyway, once nanobots can selectively repair or destroy individual cells, he said, we'll fully master our biology and medicine, and will become the exact science it has long aspired to be. Yes, of course, there is the downside to that too. I mean, what if the nanobots went rogue? Oh yes, we want to assassinate a particular world leader because, for political purposes. How about we get the nanobots not to repair that cancer cell? Or something along those lines. How about, oh, we had a heart attack. Yeah, that's because the nanobots induced one. And yet at the same time, it's not the technology that's inherently evil. It's what we do with it, right? So I can imagine these nanobots on a positive level. Can you imagine helping a sick child? That would be absolutely incredible. But we know what human beings are like, and they'll be used welcome to the dark side. Fascinating. Wish they could repair that part of us that was horrible. It would be great. And then maybe aliens would visit us. Yeah. But living longer isn't all that Kurzweil believes will happen thanks to technology. As the field of nanotech grows, the role of nanobots in human bodies will only mature with it, he claims. At some point, the body may become more than 99.9% non-biological. He envisions a situation wherein technology is gaining complete control of DNA sequencing. AI's ability to understand the human body fixes problems before they arise. Nanocomputers control how our body functions by rewriting DNA and controlling cells. And at some point, our blood and brain tissue get replaced by nanobots that connect us directly to the machines controlling us. I wonder if that takes away what makes us human. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, it's kind of like with these exoskeletons. Exoskeletons were taking a long time to train. Now with AI, they can be trained on basic human anatomy and functionality and all this sort of stuff. And then once you use one of these exoskeletons attached to AI for a particular period of time, as you know, AI learns, so it then adapts to you individually. So it's really interesting. It's interesting stuff. Now, by the 2040s or 2050s, Kurzweil believes that we will have rebuilt our bodies and brains far beyond what we know today. As nanotechnology takes off, we'll be able to produce an optimized body at will, he said. We'll be able to run much faster and long, swing and breathe under the ocean like fish, and even give ourselves working wings if we want them. People think that's a joke. Hey, I've got an app that'll do virtually, I've got an app to do my banking. Who would have thought about that 20 years ago? 30 years ago. Who would have thought that? I don't have to go into the bank, What about ATMs? I'm sorry, the bank's closed over the weekend. Well, you can't get any cash, mate. You're stuffed. Then ATMs came along. I can download an app. Can you imagine that connected to, what do you want? I want some nanobots to give me larger boobs. If I was a woman, I've already got larger boobs, thank you. How about a nanobot to reduce my moobs? Done. So you can put up an app to do that. Don't tell me it's not possible. It's fascinating. We will think millions of times faster, but more importantly, we will not be dependent on the survival of any of our bodies for ourselves to survive. So that's the beings that we are, the individual. For God's sake, could you swap this body out? Because I definitely need a new one. Only time will tell if he's right. And I believe that he will be right. That's me. But I've always thought that Ray Kurzweil was one of these people that just blew me away. He knows his stuff, right? All right, well, my name is David. Thanks for joining me for another Studio 64 Science, Space and Tech News update. I shall see you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe. Greatly appreciate it. And if you're up for it, drop a comment down below the video because I'd love to hear what you think. All right, take care. And as I always say, if you can't be good at it. And as I also always say,
I'll be back.